I have to learn what these numbers mean. Because I wasn't referring to what I said in the other video. You know something? You know what's different probably from these times to other times, Like when people in other time periods, like when I talk to them and stuff, like people who are like were like living in reality and still do. It seems like at an earlier time. I mean, I said so ignorant of like. Well, no, of course I am. I didn't grow up at a different time. It seems like where like people were like expanding their consciousness, but the fact was like people just didn't know what was like their black and white TV with like nothing on it except like it was to sort of discover to be expanding your consciousness wasn't that dangerous like psychologically because you it was just no one whether you were sober or not. If you were in the younger generation, you might realize no one lives in reality, but not in this way. Like it's very disturbing the way in which people don't live in reality in this era. You know what I mean? It seems like it will be a lot safer to realize something that was more like this stuff on the news, like this kind of news, like there's so many levels of what kind of disturbing form of propaganda it is. I mean, it's not like just watching the news, be like, oh, they're not telling the truth. They're like, it's not the whole, people don't really know what's going on. It's something much sicker. I mean, it's like I said, I don't know what this does to you to watch this, or what it's doing to me to be watching this much of it. But I try to picture what's happening to the viewers of this kind of news. To say that they're not being told the truth or like things are being hidden is not what's happening. It's something much more like it would make it impossible. Like I said, I wonder what's happening in people's heads. It would cause you to be having kind of an argument in your own head. Like, say, because they're arguing all the time, but in a nonsensical way. So as opposed to another era where things were just being kept from people or something. You know what I mean? That's like one type of thing. Must have been very frightening, but this is I still haven't quite accepted what this does to perceive this as the news. People must be having inner dialogues and arguments with themselves in their heads about politics, but that are unreal and have nothing to do with anything. That's what this would create. It's not like a broadcaster coming on and saying like everything's fine or something, and then you find out you're not being told about something that's alarming. That's shocking enough. I don't know what to say about this. The way in which our media system is. I mean, what it must be doing to people's heads. Like I said, I'm not even sure that what they're talking about, where it exists. These different divides everyone's in. I mean, I don't encounter it. It must be maybe demographic studies show that people do have these different like opinions. But like I said, if I asked one of my friends were they pro-life or pro-choice, they wouldn't understand the question. They would say, well, if they and their wife like if she was pregnant and they found out the baby wouldn't would be deformed or something, maybe they'd geez, we I think I'd want to, her to have an abortion, but it's up to every. I mean, people, it's personal. No one's walking around. I've never met anyone walking around with like positions that like are like anything other than their personal situation. So if you said to someone, "Are you for like are you for regulation and no regulation? You pro-choice or pro-life? Are you this or that? All these different things." I've never known anyone who thinks in those terms. They're just specific to them, whatever their situation is. They don't have like a opinion about it in these ways, or they don't think about it that much. Like but they're not like preoccupied with the. These are things people run elections on. But no, is it? Am I? That's not going on with anyone I know. Like that they have a. What's your stand? Which one of the camps are you divided into on these topics? Like if I ask someone, do you support gay rights? And one of my friends, or do you? Well, they said, yeah, no, people should do what they want to do. I mean, they don't have a strong. People they're perceiving that people are the way they're talking would suggest that people are walking around with very firm, hostile sort of political things that are broad based and then like sort of black and white thinking on it. And that no, that I've never met anyone like that. I guess they are like that. If I said to someone like, well, I knew, like, are you for a strong military or not? Or are you for, closing the border or path to citizenship? They're like, well, I don't know, Steve. What do you mean? I mean, I've never met anyone they're describing a population of a type of person that thinks in a way that I'm unfamiliar with. Have they put that reality in their heads, or does it exist? Or is it because of the way campaigns are run? And that they're run by the PR agencies, and it's like brainwashed everyone. I would, if I asked, my own, all my life, I've never met anyone that had these divisions of thought and these firm this or that opinions, or who referred to themselves by any of these terms. No one's ever says that. So what's your political affiliation? One of my friends they said, well, I think I used to be a Republican, but now I'm leaning libertarian. I mean, people just I've never met anyone that thought like that or talked like that. But obviously, that's what the population thinks. That's a weird way to think. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.